What's going on, people? Welcome to another episode of Drawing and Exploring with me, Sam Grubb. This episode is the second part of a two-parter. So the first part is already live on YouTube. You can go check that out. If you've not seen it already, you're basically halfway through the thing. So go, link in the description. I'd imagine it's going to be one of the suggested videos as well. But find part one, watch that, and then I'll see you back here in a minute. If you've already seen last week's episode, then you know what's happening. You know I'm kind of halfway through this job. Just had a great Indian with the guys. And yeah, into it. Day 3 on this one then, I guess.
Here we go. So we're back outside, picking up where I left off yesterday. That was another bit of the feedback when I sent over the sketches to these guys. If you watched the first episode, you would have saw the first round sketches that I sent over. And one of the pieces of feedback was that they needed the number 128, which is obviously the door number, in the composition somewhere. So I was just starting to put that in the little shady bit where the leaves are. Everything was going good. We've got Charlotte here getting some content. It was kind of funny because as I'm stood there, there's all kind of delivery people coming and going and stuff like that. So as people were coming and going, I was thinking about how much can I get done between two visitors. So I might get like a 15-minute break where there's no one at the door and I can tick through a little bit of it. It was kind of flying up, I think, because the composition was similar on each side. I felt like it was going pretty quick, and especially like this tall grass here where I can put the flowers back over the top and add the details after. I think, I'm not sure, I must have mentioned this before, but I'm really inspired by my friend Kiefer and the way that he leans into what comes naturally to him. And I feel like in the episode where I was painting in Chesterfield, I really turned a corner and I was thinking, okay, cool, when I'm spray painting, let me just try and do stuff that comes natural to me and kind of lean into that and go from there, rather than figure out the most crazy thing and then try and figure out a way to paint it. It seems like a long way round. So things like this, the little flame motifs and stuff, it's kind of easy shapes that come natural, but it's fun, and I like a little bit of this, a little bit of that kind of comes together, especially with the last round of details when I'm going through and putting the flowers in and the little kind of pollen and stuff like that. I feel like it really elevates it. I painted graffiti a few times recently and just went really illustrative with it, and I'm really enjoying it again. I felt like for a couple of years I felt kind of bogged down going painting the same sort of stuff, whereas I've got a couple of episodes that I've recorded that I'm yet to edit and put out, but you'll see kind of where I take it going off the back of that new style. And I think this is an extension of that as well. Even though it's like a mural and something different, I still kind of want to do things that are simple and within my grip. Like, I'm not scratching my head too much. It's kind of like I can keep it consistent and just get it in. I like these little details as well, just adding these bits. A couple of little neat and tidying bits with a pen. Small details, just rounding off the shapes. And then going through with the transparent black and just adding some shadows, fast and loose with it. Falling over there. Yeah, I feel like it adds some depth. I really like this stuff. I feel like I never want to paint without it. It's kind of like something where the fill's kind of bold and block colours. It really lifts it.
Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Day 3. In the thick of it. I can hear Leicester City Centre crackheads kicking off. Oh no, it's fellas on the building site sorting it out. Alright, it's just the boys. Yeah, we're here, day 3. Into it. Finished the 2 outside walls. So making nice progress there. This one's done. Kind of made sense doing the top of it yesterday and just filling in the bottom of it today. And now we're onto this inside wall. So I'm thinking if I get this little one finished, that's all masked off, ready to go. And then for the last day of the job, the big part, the shutter. So it kind of sits on the 3rd step. As you can see, the runner comes down to there, and it's kind of that width and then that high. So I'm thinking, finish this inside wall, get the shutter masked off and break the back of that, do as much of that as I can today. And then, hopefully tomorrow, final touches, cleaning up, getting rid of the masking tape, get the photos, whoosh, job done.
So yeah, this inside panel, last little bit, kind of glad that I saved this till, well, not last obviously because of the shutter, but it was easy enough. Like I say, I was in the swing of it, and with sort of the inside outside, the pattern carrying through, I knew the colour scheme, I kind of knew the composition, knew how it was going to be built up. So, and I really felt lean. You know, imagine you're like in a band and you have 4 days of band practice in a row. Felt like by this point I was like, yeah, cool, this is stuff's kind of, I feel warmed up. I felt like things were going the way I wanted them to. You can see here I've got a little bit of overspray around the corner, so I've just got to tidy that up. Even though I've masked it, I think it kind of just went off the edge of the masking tape, but all of that can be sorted out after, not a problem. Look at the way this black just sticks to the wall. And with the door wide open, we've got some nice ventilation. I want to paint one of these monster faces really big. Like, instead of doing a busy composition like this, I kind of want to do the whole side of the building or something, just with like one character's face and like quite a lot of detail. Maybe like make the fur really, like, not super realistic obviously, because I can't do that, but as realistic as possible, rather than just like little dots or something. Really build it up and like add like loads of little consistent lines and loads of sort of direction, so you can really gather the weight of it. I think that'd be pretty cool. I'd love to do that. This is the last character going into the wall. Kind of like this little dude, look devious. I like doing the eyes on the little slant like this as well. Kind of makes him look like a little bad guy from, I don't know, Sonic or Mario or something like that. Yeah, is it Mario I'm thinking of? Is it a goober? I was never a Mario kid. Maybe it looks like one of those. I feel like I've kind of figured out the whole back to front issue here. I was saying in the last episode about how with this, it's a tough one because I'm doing it without a sketch. I'm kind of trying to layer stuff up and put things in front of stuff and have like the foliage going in front of the characters. But I kind of need to paint part of the character in order to put the foliage in front and figure that out. But by this point, I feel like I'm into a good routine with it. On the first day, it was a bit tough figuring out like what to paint first, and I was going over bits that I'd fully painted, so I was trying to avoid doing that. But yeah, we're just about there, and especially because there's kind of no reference, I'm just building it up and having fun. This time it's getting hot, so by now it's kind of like, I don't know, looking at the shadows, what we say looks like about midday. And yeah, it's really starting to cook. But nice with the door open, little breeze. It was kind of the outside sections where I'm in the direct sunlight that were just baking. Filling in these black bits. I'm kind of conscious, you know, like sometimes, especially when I'm drawing literally with a pen, I look at the other artists and I love the way people use heavy like blacking in, you know, kind of like in old comic books where you'll have a whole section that's just completely in shadow. It makes it look so dramatic and so cool, and it's not really my thing. I don't know, I need to do more of it. I need to have a better understanding of like the shadows and kind of like, do you remember those how to draw manga books, and there'd be a whole book on like shadows on clothing and stuff like that. I feel like maybe I need to study a little bit and try and add some of that stuff into my work, because it always looks so cool. For stuff like this, I like the big bold colour, but yeah, I like it when there's like heavy bits of black in illustration. Oh my god, my voice! Peel these letters off. So this was like a little extra. This is Lorna, bless Lorna. She was the client who reached out initially and said, oh, do you want to come and paint this space? And then we had the idea to do the shutter as well. Turned into a whole job, but yeah, she was a great help just getting this. This is definitely a two-man job. And checking that it rolls down and the dust sheet stays where it's meant to. Beautiful stuff. So the reason for the dust sheet on the inside is because there's little holes in the shutter. I'm going to use these needle caps, and Lorna's going to foot the ladder, and I'm going to try just blast in the bit across the top, so where the sky would be in the composition. I'm looking at this footage as well, and it doesn't really do it justice. It felt like it was so high up, I guess, especially because the steps as well. But yeah, just using the needle cap to like go through and block out that first top section. So then I think if I can add in a couple of little details, it's no problem. It's a big piece anyway, so I think these guys must have been thinking, what's the point in doing that? Lorna's trying to stay covered with the dust sheet. Yeah, you can see what I mean. The shutter's like perforated, which was kind of a blessing in disguise. So I painted, like I said, when I painted the the back shutter for these guys in, I think, 2017. The shutter was corrugated, same as this, but it didn't have the little holes in it. And the paint would like thicken up, it'd stick, it'd kind of it'd be tough to paint into the cracks on it, the little crevices as it rolled over. Whereas with this, with the holes in it, it felt a lot easier. The paint was just really taken.
So I'm onto the shutter, the final panel of the project. We're on task. Like I said, I always think of test cricket, making a run rate, making sure we're getting knocks, get them boundaries. And yeah, yesterday and today made hay. So in a good position. Bless Lorne of helping us with the get the sheet up on the inside and just test out what we need to do with the shutter bit. Making good progress. I want to get it wrapped up tomorrow. So we'll see how the rolls in the shutter are. Maybe they're going to be difficult. Might just name this video "Incredibly Sweaty Man Paints Mural." Oh gosh. Day 4 done. Definitely a 5-dayer. Check it out. I've got the top part done, need to add some shading, and then kind of just got that bit left to do tomorrow and the cleaning up inside. So definitely getting there. Gonna need the day 5. Gonna tidy these bits up now. Actually go link some friends to paint, which seems futile and unenjoyable. And then yeah, finish up tomorrow. Final touches. Blistering sunshine. Love it. Morning peeps, day 5. Bright and early. We're here. Last little bit today. Just got to finish off that shutter, clean up around the edges. Oh, I'm so excited to just sit down this weekend. I got a barbecue. I'm thinking I'm just going to chill. Should be okay, about 3-4 hours. Then my friend Robin's come in to help me take some pictures. Feel like I'm Football Manager, you know, when your boys have got like 73% in their legs and they're whinging saying they ain't got a game in them. That's how I feel. Depleted, but won't be long. Packing down, Uber back, job done. So yeah, day 5, let's go over there. Obviously, some people who'll be watching this will be from Leicester, my hometown, but some people won't. So some famous things about Leicester. Elephant Man was born here, down an alleyway near the outdoor market, near the bins from the outdoor market, so born to be a tramp. Gary Lineker's obviously from here. Walker's Crisps are from here, but then they got bought out by Golden Wonder back in the day, so they're kind of not here anymore. King Richard III was dug up here, right? And his body was found. There was a whole thing. Who was it? Was it... God knows, the other city wanted him back where he was born or whatever, and we won the thing and he stayed here. And I'm thinking, if I'm like Leicester through and through and I happen to die in Stoke-on-Trent, don't display my body in Stoke-on-Trent. Like, I don't want to live in Stoke-on-Trent forever. He's not even from here, and everyone pure claims him as like a pride point that he was dug up in a car park. Kind of don't really understand it. If I just die somewhere random, don't keep my body there forever. Move it back to where I'm from, surely.
Right into the thick of it, dust sheet going down, we're prepping. So the guys had to put the shutter up to take post in the morning. Ooh, look at this one. Nearly. Yeah, the guys had to roll the shutter up to take post, and I was like, no, because I know the shutter around the back, the paint kind of chipped away on it when they rolled it up, but they rolled it down and it was fine. Then this Japanese lady had to help her with the directions. I'm trying to say, you've got to go up, down, round to the roundabout, come back down, you can come by here, and then you're turning right at the end here. She needed to get to like the NCP near LCB round the corner. So here's me on translator and I'm explaining the route. I didn't actually see her when she come back by. I said I'm going to wave at you, but I didn't see her. Hopefully she made it. Guess she did, because she maybe would have come back round again. There's me taking post, some blue roll. And then, yeah, just getting these last bits in. Like I was saying, the shutter's got these little holes in, so it was a blessing. It meant like next to no drips. The dust sheet on the other side was catching everything, so it was no problem. Oh my God, I've got a frog in my throat. So it was no problem. Yeah, and we were getting through it. Definitely felt like the last day. And you can see it's kind of like, it's easy to be a little messy with it or whatever. It doesn't matter too much. I can clean it up, and it was kind of a nice surface to paint. I was dreading it a little bit just because the corrugated rolls, it's not the easiest thing. And I even said to Lorna, I said, you know, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make the composition super complex on the outside just because of the, you know, the shutter and trying to paint. You can't get the can super close to the surface, obviously, because of the rolls. But it was actually coming up all right. Some nice, neat lines going on because it was just drinking it and taking it. I felt like, yeah, I was in a nice flow state with it. Trying to do that thing as well. I've spoke about it on a few vids where I'll like try and not make the same color be touching. So if there's two things that are both need to be that blue color or whatever, I'll make sure they're on separate sides of the composition. So it's kind of funny. It throws up these little quirks where like this green dude all of a sudden has blue lips, and I kind of like it. I was going to put these big kind of lilies in, but then I thought, nah, they're a little bit too bulky. I don't know, maybe could have done something a bit smaller, but then I was talking to these guys about repainting the part around the back that I painted for the first Bring the Paint. And I'm thinking that it'd be cool to do like a full jungle scene or something, you know, something with like a whole bunch of foliage, loads of flowers and sort of overgrown branches and stuff like that. I thought that'd be really cool. So watch this space. I want to do something like that. Maybe do some guys lurking in the trees and hanging upside down and stuff. Been watching Lost recently, and I know it's like a tragic TV series that never had an ending, but I feel like that first couple seasons is pretty good. I seen the bit where Claire's having these nightmares about her baby, and they figure like someone's going to try and mess with her baby or take her baby or something like that, and then they figure out the idea of doing the register. Hurley's like, we should just get like a survey of everyone who's on the island and figure it out, and then big cliffhanger where you figure out that Ethan is not part of the gang and he wasn't on the flight, and he's unlisted. And the way that they just kind of drip fed him in and put him in the background of 1 or 2 episodes before is just watching back now, knowing obviously all the spoilers and stuff. It's yeah, it was pretty cool. I was like, that's nice. That still hits. That's still pretty dramatic. But yeah, on with this. Enough talk about Lost. Can you tell I'm just like alone in an Airbnb watching Netflix? That's the sketch. But yeah, getting these flowers in, getting the diamonds in. This one's really filling out. I've got to contest with this bit behind the letterbox. I figured the shutter's probably going to have to go up again a little bit at some point, so I can paint that bit that's kind of at the top just above the letterbox. I like these little simple kind of tulips with the ombre on them. This is kind of a big one. I'm thinking when the shutter's down, it's like a, you know, when I painted the piece for Bring the Paint, there was like a similar kind of piece of artwork. I was thinking, damn, that's pretty cool to have such a big thing in my hometown on the high street right there. And this one's kind of just as big. Like when the shutter's down, 6 p.m. onwards, you know, outside of office hours or whatever, it's kind of a big blockbuster that's just in the middle of the street. So yeah, as it was coming together, I was really happy with it. It's a lot of work this week, whinging about being up and down the ladders, but then, you know, I'm happy with the final result. Hopefully the guys are as well, the clients. This part, the letterbox, was really fun. The guys were so cool, like all the way through, you know, they never said no to anything. It had a tag on it. We were going to colour match it, paint over the tag. And then I was like, can I just paint the whole thing? And they were like, yeah, go for it. And it kind of ended up being one of my favourite parts of the whole job. Masking off these last few little bits, just using a piece of cardboard there to spray in the white on the other parts of the wall. Peely McPeely, peely. Get rid of this stuff. This was fun because this was the first time I'd seen through the glass.
All right, I think we're done. Might be the biggest mural I've ever painted, you know. I painted this climbing wall and that was possibly bigger, but pretty happy with it. It's nice now seeing with the inside outside. I'm going to put these photos up on the screen as well, taken by my mate Robin, big him up. It's a big old boy. We've got the post box there. Might be my favourite part of the whole thing. All right, job done. That's it. Got some photos with my mate Robin. He's come to take some pictures for us. So now we're just gonna go, like I said, I want to find something in the city centre that's like a little gemmy food spot that I love. And last week I had a shawarma with Robin at a place just around the corner where I used to go all the time when I used to live in this building actually. So I used to go there all the time, and when Robin's come to get these photos today, I said, please be hungry, I hope you've not had lunch, and let's go get another one of those shawarmas and show it off. So yeah, we're on our way there now.
All right, inside Special Shawarma. This one is close to my heart. Like I said, there was maybe a 3-4 year period where I didn't go more than 5 days without eating one of these. And I think it's still in the same hands. I think it's the same boys that have always owned it. All the classics, we're hitting the sauce, full salad. Robin got olives in his. Not for me, rogue choice, olives in a shawarma, but whatever, fun for some, not for me personally. A little bit of sauce on the chips, you know the game, and then we're straight into it. Look at that beautiful, heavy, weighty thing. Tear off the top like a pro. Look, not my first time eating shawarma. Show you guys the merch and then woof. Do you know what I was thinking when I was editing this? I was thinking about when I first kind of figured out the episodes and what I was going to do and like the flow of it, and I thought, God, I'm going to be so conscious of myself eating on camera all the time, and like I don't want to eat like a tramp or whatever. And here I'm like so switched off. I'm chilling with my mate, just whacking fat bites into my gob like this. But man, Special Shawarma, go hit this place up. I feel like there's a good one on Narborough Road, just past the train bridges. You're heading up towards Foss Park on the right. Look at the local Maddads. And I know that one's been there a few years, but I've not been there, but people say it's decent. And there's another good one. You can get a good shawarma from the guy next to WH Smith's. But man, for me, this one is the number one. If you're in Leicester and you need a shawarma, I think this is the place to go.
All right, guys, that brings another episode of Drawing and Exploring to a close. Thanks for watching, dudes. Thanks if you made it to this point in the video. I'm not going to shout out the socials, you can find them below. Go follow on TikTok, because that's I've been posting a bunch of stuff there, trying to crop down the episodes into shorts and jump on that sort of stuff. So give us a little follow over there, and if you're watching from somewhere obscure, drop a little emoji flag. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time for another episode of Drawing and Exploring.